You took bad advice from somebody and now you're feeling a little out of control within yourself and a little bit unstable. You're not happy with what happened, but you only took their advice from a lack of distrust in yourself. You didn't have the confidence, you didn't have the trust in yourself to actually make the good decision. So you just went and listened to whatever someone else said. You listened to the logic of somebody else, essentially. And now you're kind of stuck. You don't feel balanced. And your thinking is kind of a little bit out of control. You're like overthinking, you got a lot over your head. You're almost in a dark night of soul period right now. You're like grieving. Yes. If this resonates for you, I would really recommend going back to part 1 because we got very deep into tarot. This part is only going to be oracle. We're going to get a little bit deeper on some healing and what's going to really help you. So this is kind of like an extended part of the reading, I guess I could say. I don't really know. Let's go ahead and what's happening. We'll ask angels. What's going to help build your inner trust here? Truth and integrity. Be honest with yourself and live honestly. That is just further clarification of what I was saying in the last part. Be honest with yourself and then make your decisions based off of things that you know are actually going to make you feel good. But one thing that I'm hearing is you can only meet others as deeply as you meet yourself. So if you're sitting here trying to live in a level of truth and integrity, but you're not sitting there in your free time being honest with yourself about these certain things, like sitting down and journaling, or that example that I gave of what decision style do you have, if you don't know those certain things about you, it's going to be really, really hard for you to know how to transpose yourself in moments when things are very, very stressful. It's like the example of meditation. Meditation is really good for people with anxiety because it helps train their brain to be in the present moment. So when they're, having a panic attack, having a high anxious moment, their brain now can pull something out of the back of the pocket because you've already taken that time training your brain of like, okay, this is like a visualization method that I did in the meditation last week or something, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the level that you're being called to work in, is like, be honest with yourself on this. What you really want for yourself. What do you want your life to look like? Confirmation burp, but what does stability even look like for you? How does it feel? Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to pull a little bit from Fairy Oracle. What's going to help you build your inner trust? Look inside yourself! Look inside yourself! Further confirmation from spirits. Truth and integrity. Look inside yourself. What makes you feel good? What actually makes you happy? But who even are you? How can you navigate this world? Card meaning, you've been trying to find satisfaction through outside sources such as material possessions or relationships. You're also looking for help from other people. The fairies ask you to look within for the answers that you need. Further confirmation on everything. I love this, spirits. Thank you. Sometimes when you feel empty, your first reaction is to try and fill up the emptiness by acquiring something or someone. You may fall in the trap of thinking, I'll be happy if, or when I have, yada yada yada. This is when you get the new acquisition. You only feel satisfied for a little while. The fairies remind you that the only source of true fulfillment is by connecting with your spirit within. Connecting with spirit within. Have a mental conversation with your creator and feel yourself filled with divine love. The affirmation is, I have great beauty and light inside of me right now. I tap into all of the knowledge of the universe. The same holds true if you're searching for answers from outside authorities. Now, there's nothing wrong with seeking counsel from wise friends, especially if their advice echoes what you already know to be true. That's what advice is meant to be. That's actually really good. Yes, those are the words that I've been trying to find. Literally, advice is really good. We don't go to advice on figuring out what to do. We go get advice for confirmation on what we want to do. Honestly, seeking advice and outside counsel is not bad, as it says. It just needs to be confirmation of something that you're already feeling within yourself. Perhaps you've been asking your friends, mentors, or psychics for solutions and you feel confused by conflicting advice. So if everyone is telling you different solutions, you need to meditate on what your inner guidance is telling you. The affirmation is I have great beauty and light inside of me right now. I tap into all of the knowledge of the universe. I love this. Okay, sorry. It wasn't letting my mic. My mic won't get connected. We're gonna just do it old school way. We're fine. We're good. We're good. Okay. How can you build your own intuition, your own inner knowing? Playfulness. Have some fun with yourself. Quite literally, as I said in the first part, stop demonizing, if I can even say that on TikTok. Stop putting yourself down for certain parts of who you are and look at it from a perspective of, okay, how can I use, now that I know this about myself, how can I use this, not like this information to essentially navigate the world a little bit better, have a little bit more fun, actually enjoy my life, not feel stressed about the choices that I'm doing, the things that I'm doing. Or know that even if this doesn't end up being right, it ends up being a mistake, you're still going to be okay in the end because at least you're expressing yourself. At least you are enjoying yourself, right? At least you're making decisions towards having a brighter future ahead of you for yourself, right? Instead of putting so much of your identity in what other people think and how other people feel. If you're actually being honest and true to yourself, I mean, yes, you want to put other people into consideration on a certain level, right? If you actually care about them, but it depends, you know? Are you putting them in consideration with what you know is good to you, or are you putting them in consideration because they're telling you to? Are you doing what other people say to do because it feels true to what you are, or are you doing what they say to do because you're too afraid to trust yourself? Or it feels better to just kind of follow through with that. Maybe it's like this time of like you haven't even taken this time of like fully understanding your own truth and integrity. So when someone says it, they say it with enough confidence to be like, oh yeah, that's true. And then you sit back and you like everything all plays out, and you're like, oh no, that's actually not what I want. Like look in a way of having fun with yourself and enjoying things. I'm hearing like creation, creative endeavors, literally something, a way that you can actually express yourself in a very creative way. Magic of nature. Like literally the nature of who you are. See the magic of who you naturally are. Have fun with it. As I said, finding out these parts of who you are instead of being like, oh, this is what's wrong with me. Be like, okay, well, now what can I do now that I know this information? Now, if this is something genuinely toxic about you, then yeah, maybe what can you do to get over this like toxic behavior? But if it's like something that's just like quite literally about you, okay, now you know, babe. Now you know these things about you. Good job. Oh, I love me opening right up on the page. Card meaning, spend time outdoors among the flowers, plants, and trees. Nature has powerful gifts that she wants to share with you, including ideas, information, and healing energy. When you're disconnected from Mother Earth, you may feel depressed or lethargic without knowing why. Earth, too, feels distraught when you don't connect with her on a regular basis. The affirmation, I love being outside in nature. I feel energized by the sunshine, fresh air, plants, and animals. I take excellent care of every living being, including myself. Aww, that's cute. Go have fun outside. But I'm hearing also have fun outside of your natural reaction. Step outside of your comfort zone. Lean into those decisions, that truth, those feelings that you keep pulling that feel like, oh no, I'm scared. What if no? What if this? What if, let's stop with the what ifs and think, is this going to be fun? Is this going to be fulfilling? Is this going to lead you somewhere that you know is going to make you happy? Is this going to lead you towards a place of passion, right? Okay, what's going to help you with this fear of being seen? Divine timing. Interesting. Divine placement. The people truly meant for you will take you in all of your forms. Your raw and authentic forms. So being seen, right, it does not just mean they see our good qualities. It also means they see our bad qualities. And what's really going to help you is to be honest about who you are. Know and stand confident in that. And then when you stand confident in who you are, you live in your truth and integrity, you trust yourself. Then when you show up, and if someone doesn't appreciate that, trust in the divine timing, divine placements. Maybe you were placed in their life to help open them up. They weren't there to help open you up. Maybe they're actually there to push you a little bit more towards self-love, or vice versa. Maybe you're there to push them towards some self-love, and they're meant to open you up a little bit. Simultaneous, it happens. Maybe they're a lesson to also show you what happens with people when they don't grow. Trust in the divine timing. And detachment. That's something I'm also hearing, is detachment. Like letting go of control and certain outcomes. Trust in abundance and these signs. Literally. Trust in the abundance and signs with divine timing. So when you have this fear of being seen, right, you'll have signs of, okay, who is good, who is not good. Trust those signs, lean into those signs. Don't second guess your intuition. Stop second guessing your intuition about these people. Stop second guessing your intuition about these people. I don't know who needs to hear this, but stop. You've been getting so many signs. Like this is coming up like fully deeper within like the situation that just happened. Stop trusting these people. Someone needs to hear that. You have abundance. When you remove toxic people, people who are not actually showing up for you, people who are not actually fulfilling for you, people who don't care to show up, people who don't care to make you feel comfortable, don't care to actually be there for you, when they get removed out of your life, it literally makes space for better. It does. It does. And it can happen so fast too. It's actually so crazy. It's so crazy. I'm speaking from like experience right now. When you remove toxic people from your life, it is absolutely insane how fast things can move. Like divine timing. And when you hold on to toxic people too, when you don't listen to these signs and you almost like hold yourself back, or you hold yourself to a toxic energy because you're also afraid of being seen too. But really, that's kind of... No, there's a full circle. Hold on. Sorry. Let me take 4 steps back. I'm getting ahead of myself. So when you're afraid of being seen, you usually listen to that within your own intuition, right? Is this you or is this them? Is this you or is it them? That's something that you really need to ask yourself. Some of you really need to ask yourself this. Because some of it is you, some of it is them. Some of it's you and just kind of like your response patterns and this lack of confidence, this lack of trust within yourself. And then some of it is also just not being in safe places. Not being in places of people that give you good advice. Yeah, just because they gave you advice and they sounded very confident while saying it doesn't mean that it was good advice. That's why you feel a little unbalanced in this situation. And whatever happened. But trust in those signs and know that whatever gets removed will be replaced by better. It's going to help them with this fear of being seen here, fairies. It's going to help them with their fear of being seen here, fairies. Oop, I got 2 here. Parenting and children. Tap into your inner child. What did your inner child go through that made you afraid of expressing yourself? I'm hearing for some of you, maybe when you expressed yourself, like there was an issue, you got silent treatment. You got held to a level of perfectionism. You weren't even allowed to make your own decisions, so that's why now as an adult, it's hard to make decisions. There's something about your inner child right now that's playing a huge role in this entire situation and how you've been showing up. But also tap into your higher self. Tap into your higher self. Your inner child and your higher self. Wow. Which we got into a little bit of a message from your higher self in the last part, which I don't want to go back over. But I am going to read for the higher consciousness because I'm being pulled to. The card meaning, you're receiving guidance from your true self, your higher consciousness, which is one with divine universal wisdom, and you are listening to love rather than fear. That's what's going to help you when it comes to this fear of being seen, is listening to love rather than fear. Quite literally, as I was saying. Oh, I love it. Those people, right, if they don't appreciate you for you being genuinely who you are, they're not genuinely people for you. And if you're sitting here also pretending to be somebody that you're not just to get certain people to like you, they're not actually genuinely liking you anyways. So, like, what's the point? You're all just wasting your time and energy at that point. This card is a validation that your recent feelings, thoughts, dreams, and aspirations are coming from spirits, and you've been asking for divine guidance, and your higher self has answered your prayers. This reading right here is kind of confirmation for that in this sense. Your spiritual path has helped you hear this voice because you've been taking the time to listen. You're starting to right now. That's what this reading is. That's you, like, starting to sit down and taking time to listen because you know that everything has been so overwhelming inside your head. That's really the feeling that I'm getting right now. The affirmation is, I easily hear and understand the inner voice of spirits. Okay, and then just what's going to help you in general when it comes to just like this overall situation that like really triggered this reading. Answered prayers. Trust in the power of answered prayers. Once you sit down with yourself and you figure out what you actually want, you have to speak it into motion though. Be careful of the language that you're using too. That's something that I'm also hearing. Oh, excuse me. Confirmation burp. Pay attention to the language that you're using because that's the energy that's being put out there. Meditation. Literally focus on training your brain right now to focus, like, train your brain on how to pay attention to the present moment. You don't have to sit there in meditation of like meditation. Work right now on minimizing your anxiety. Perhaps the actual act of meditation may help you. Because it's just honestly, it's really the act of training your brain of how to be in the present moment and focus on one thing at a time. Our brains really, really struggle with that. Really, really struggle with that. And that's kind of what's going on a lot for you right now in surrounding the situation. Sit down and meditate, quite literally. Turn on music. I'm hearing Healing and Beyond on YouTube. I'm not trying to like advertise, but Healing and Beyond on YouTube with his, he does Reiki releasing meditations or just meditations in general. Releasing. That's what I'm hearing. Releasing fears, anxieties, past pains, past traumas. Like, allow yourself to release your past. Release your past. Okay, and then what healing from fairies is going to be good for you? Miracle healing. We got miracle healing, and then this one fell on the floor. If it fell on the floor, then it's time for financial flow. So that was actually some level of energy that I was picking up on in the past part. Some of you were feeling unstable within finances. Like this decision, this bad advice that you got was literally when it comes to your career. Some of you, it's about a relationship. Some of you, it's about your career. Some is, take what resonates. It's a very general collective reading. Please, only take what resonates. But financial flow. Focus on your stability. That's really what I'm getting from that. But I'm definitely going to read a card for this. You have manifested a new sense of abundance in your life. Any financial blocks have successfully been removed, and you are now in the flow of increased prosperity. Your finances are moving up to a level. You have been praying for an increased flow and have been visualizing greater wealth. Believe also in you having this financial flow. Trust in your stability. That's something that I'm hearing for some of you. Like, trust in the stability. You don't need to keep going, You don't need to have... Abundance doesn't work in an excess. Abundance works with what you need. You have what you need when you need it, and know that you are okay and you will be okay. You are okay and you will be okay. You are being taken divinely guided and protected. You will be taken care of. Trust. You are being taken care of. You will have what you need when you need it. You will be okay. You will not be lacking. Abundance does not work in an aspect of an excess. Someone needed to hear all of that. The affirmation is, I'm financially secure. I'm supported abundantly today and every day in my future. As I just said. Use that. Use that confirmation. Yes. Okay, miracle healing. Card meaning, expect a miracle. You have prayed for assistance and it's forthcoming. The more completely you surrender to your situation, the more rapidly you will realize your healing. Literally, I love how these two actually have the same meaning. Answered prayers and miracle healing. I realize I didn't show the words. How cute. I love this for you. Heaven is completely on your side and your prayers have been heard and answered. You won't beg or petition heaven to help you as your situation is already healed in truth. In truth, this is the affirmation. In truth, everything and everyone, including myself, is healed right now. I focus on this truth instead of on illusions of fear. But the situation that you've been stuck in, really, it's... Spirits hear your cries right now. They hear it. Because you're recognizing, I'm hearing you're recognizing the role that you played. And you're being called, just really sit down and be honest with yourself right now. That's what you're being called. Let spirit guides take care of everything else. They're doing something. They're helping this situation, whether it was with your career or with relationship, whatever it may be. Spirits are working on this for you. Just trust their guidance and trust their divine timing and trust yourself to trust their guidance. But let's see, we'll ask a little bit. Just some general spirit oracle cards. What's just some general spirits messages? Find your inner strength. Literally, your inner trust, your own inner courage, perseverance. Trusting, your own inner strength in the capability of making the decisions and living through the decisions that you make. The strength to make good decisions for yourself, that's really a lot of it. Practice non-judgment. What did I say? Stop putting yourself down for who you are. Look at who you are. Say, oh, hell yeah. I can do something with this. This is who I am. That's why I do this. That's why I act like this. That's why this is me. Live with that. Run with it. Do something with who you are. Honor your unique journey. You are you. You don't have to follow what other people do just because they said this logical just because they said this advice, essentially, and a very logical and confident view doesn't mean that's your journey. And trust that. Next time you go for advice, is this advice feeling what you know to be honest to you? If it doesn't, if you haven't even asked yourself that, then don't take action. Find something that actually makes you feel magical within the nature of who you are, and you get to have fun with it too, right? That is really, those decisions are going to be pushing you where you need to be, what makes you feel good. Actually, we'll ask some values. Okay, what are some values that will help this collective here moving forward? That's too much at once. What are some values that will help this collective? Patience. Beauty, your own inner beauty. See how beautiful you are in making decisions, trusting yourself to make decisions. Have patience for what you want to have. It's, oh my gosh, it's tying into the first part with making impulsive decisions almost on a level of not truly, because you don't truly trust yourself. So it's just like, I'm just gonna be quick to action with something just because, you know, the kind, maybe like that outside, there's different levels of energy I was picking up on it. But have patience within yourself to actually make decisions, but also see fruition within these decisions. And practice inner discipline. Don't be extremely impulsive. Have that patience. Have that patience with yourself too. That's what I'm hearing for some of you, why you struggle to sit down to figure out your own inner truth and integrity. Patience. I'm feeling this like level of fear as I'm talking about this. Like running away. Like I feel like something's starting to chase me. Like I have this feeling of like I need to get up and start running. Stop demonizing you. Stop putting yourself down. Stop. You've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. Stop putting yourself down for them. You cannot be perfect. Instead of putting yourself down for certain parts of just who you naturally even are, find the beauty. And your own personal freedom. Your own personal freedom. I love that being the ending. If this helped, I hope it did. Yes. If you want to book a personal reading and a little bit more on your own personal situation, you can send me a DM, you can send me a text, or whatever. But either way, hopefully I'll catch you in the next reading.